Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Hi, LaShawndra.
Greetings, not rises. Greetings, everyone. How are you?
Doing good.
All right, it is 7 o'clock. We are going to start on time. We're going to start on time. I want to send out a humongous gratitude to everybody who logged in today, taking time out. This is our first session for the new beginning and women veteran. So this session is for anyone who is interested in wanting more information about farming. It can be any type of farming, doesn't have to be on a large scale, it can be on a smaller scale, container, garden, whatever it looks like. But this will give you some information about that. And so this is Grow Well, Aiken County. I just want to do a quick introduction to Miss Cynthia Mitchell. She is one of the founders of the land people that created the Grow Well, Aiken County. She's also with Whistle Britches Farm and Gardens. Miss Cynthia, would you like to come up?
So I would just like to say hello and welcome to everyone. We're excited about this Grow Well movement, and it's really great tonight. So that's all I have for now, unless you want me to just go ahead and make an announcement, or you want me to wait on that.
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
So another component of Grow Well Aiken County is our Cultivating for Life sessions that we do for young people ages 2 through 11. And it's really to help get them interested in growing and farming at an early age, and also to promote literacy, because that is one thing that we see in our community. Our children are a bit behind in literacy, reading and comprehension. So that's what we do with Cultivating for Life. And the next session will be May 25th. They are held 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at 307 Gentry Street in Graniteville. Please go to our website, www.growwellaikencounty.net. There's a little bit more information there, and the registration form is linked. That's it.
Gratitude. Definitely appreciate you for sharing that information. So yes, anybody want to sign up, please do check out the Seed for Life, and also just go to the Grow Well Aiken County website as well to keep up with the information there. You can also go on there. You can see everyone that's associated with the Grow Well team. So there you'll see pictures, little introductions, and you can actually click on the pictures to go to each individual's websites, those types of things. So just kind of get to know exactly about Grow Well. And so today I am honored for for this lovely, lovely queen to step up here and take a big leap out here and doing all of the things that she does. I'm very honored to introduce LaShawndra Robertson, a determined businesswoman and a loving mother of 3 adorable children. Originally from the sunny Florida, her passion and her purpose led her to Georgia from Texas. LaShawndra has an unwavering commitment to ethics and integrity, which has helped her to identify problems and implement effective solutions with ease. As she continues to grow with her faith, she has discovered more about herself and true potential. She has gained a wealth of knowledge and expertise through diverse experiences as a military veteran, executive chef, modern day farmer, and author. By consistently focusing on her core values, she has been able to make a significant and positive impact on the world around her. LaShawndra is happy to lend a listening ear and offer any help if she can. Now, let me tell you from my personal experience of meeting this young woman, she has been on the go ever since I met her. Like, she's doing amazing things in the community. I see her building sheds and putting gardens together. And I mean, she's a superwoman. LaShawndra is a superwoman. And then she's also this God-fearing, she's an amazing mother. Her personality is outstanding. Her energy, she vibrates so high. Being around her has been a treat these past few years. I am honored to say I know her and I can call her phone. So I would definitely say she's a beautiful soul and friend, community partner. She's amazing. So we appreciate you for taking the time out this evening and speaking. LaShawndra, I am going to pass the mic over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. He was reading. I was like, who is that woman? What woman are you talking about? But thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you all for having me here as a guest speaker this evening. And I hope that I can leave you with some valuable information. I wanted to first, I guess, get into a PowerPoint and then get into some other things, just so I can just familiarize with my organization, which is called Black Farm Street Incorporated. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, put the questions in the chat, and I will surely answer them if I can. So I'm going to share my screen. And get this going. All right. Can everybody see the screen? Okay. So welcome, Grow Well with the Land people. Okay, I'll start with the birthing of it all. So what brought about Black Farm Street Incorporated? How did we come into existing? So when I moved here to Augusta, Georgia, this year be 4 years, I came here as a chef, ready to put my chef hat on, get into the catering world, but God had other plans and it brought me into farming. So from the right to the left, I was reading a book. I had already been in prayer about what's my next steps. And I opened up this magazine. I don't even read magazines, so I really don't know why I was in this magazine. But that first picture was farm to table, the Costco way. And when I saw that, I stopped and I said, oh, Costco, I'm thinking about a warehouse and there's so many things that's inside of a warehouse of Costco. It's not just food, it's so many other products. So I bookmarked that and I went on. Probably a week later, I went to go wash my hands and this sign that was farm to table was at the washing sink. And I was like, okay, God talks to me in 3. So maybe that still ain't God. Let me see. I need just one more, Lord. I just need one more sign that it's going to be farm to table. And then I went to go have dinner with my kids at Culver's, and the table placard was farm to table. And I said, okay, I'm convinced now. So I didn't have to relinquish my farm hat because when God did tell me I was going to be farming, I thought that was an accident. I've loved to cook. I've always been a cook. When I got out of the military, I went to culinary school, and I just always loved to cook for people. And so I had a catering company, and I did not want to take off my chef hat. But when I realized I can still use my chef hat and do farm to table, I was like, okay. So it has brought me into farming full time, and my chef hat now is only used to educate. So the senior community, when we first started the organization, we went into the senior community because I think they was the most vulnerable in the food desert areas that we were surrounded with. But also the USDA came down with this grant called, I think it was called the PRS grant. And the gap between people, really our senior farmers getting that grant from USDA and into their account was technology. And so to help with that barrier, I will go into the homes or our senior community, go to these community centers and talk to people, and it helped them navigate that system so that they can apply for this grant and receive it. And so I was able to meet a lot of people that either used to farm, currently farming, aspire to farm. And so I love that African proverb, which is what an old man can see sitting down, the youth cannot see standing up. And so I really love that proverb, and I live by it because they have wisdom that we just don't have, that lifespan to even fathom what they all have inside their brain to teach us. So not only will I go to teach, but I will also be taught a multitude of things. Community. And so where there is unity, there is community. So we do a lot of things in the community. I don't think, a lot of things is possible unless you connect with others, not just in the farm world, but just in life in general. We all need that village. So whether we're connecting at events or just going to visit other farms or community gardens, we make sure that we connect within the community. And that's very vital as a farmer. The youth. Now, our youth are our agricultural harvest for the future. We have to grab them young. We have to grab them now because as we old and transition, they are coming up behind us. And so whatever we have to pour into them, we need to make sure we take that opportunity to make sure we're giving that to them. I'm an on-hands learner. So I make sure when I teach the youth, I can do some on-hand skills as well, as well as the teaching and classroom part too. This is just, this is just a video of us tilling our urban farm here in Augusta, Georgia, which is off of Olive Road, 1650 Olive Road behind Josie High School. We was just tilling the ground before spring harvest, and which that farm is called Concrete Farm because that whole area used to be concrete. And I leave bits and pieces of concrete that comes out of the ground just to show people that just because your soil is not in perfection and where you would, like it to be in that bigger picture and that final picture that you see, does not mean that over the years as you continue to cultivate and making sure that just as much as you take from the land, you give back to the land, your soil will improve, and it's still possible to grow your food in that same soil. Training is in session. You earn if you learn. Now, one key thing we do teach our youth is to have value. I feel as if they don't work for it, they won't value it. So if they come out to learn, they actually do earn incentives. Usually it's financial incentives, but it's only if you're really committed to learning whatever it is. So whether that's learning to drive the tractors, whether that's doing landscaping, learning how to plant, building raised beds, whatever that is, they come and they learn. This young lady right here, her mother reached out to us because she used to be a cutter, and she shares her testimony. And we have our peer groups with the youth. You know, she was going through a lot of things throughout her life. And so when she would come out to the urban farm, she would just want to be. And I allow her to be. She'll be by the herb area, the herb growing area, or she'll just be making mud pies. But whatever it was that she needed, she got it there. And so she would share how now she's no longer a cutter, because she had that opportunity to connect with nature and connect with earth. And so that has really helped her transition from where she was to where she is now. And she is a thriving young lady now, all because she connected with soil, with earth. Organization, we are better together. So we partner with a multitude of organizations within the community. At this race that's about to come up, we have a partner, Jackson Drum Google, that's building a tiny home community. Every year we go out there, we take our watermelons and we give the participants an opportunity to eat their water. So we provide watermelons for them to eat, so they can just know, hey, it's watermelon is good. Whether you juice it or eat it straight out of the off the rind, is good. Doing consultations, rooftop consultations in New York, going out to our partner farms, doing workshops, connecting with different organizations within the community so that we can teach people how to plant a seed and watch it grow. And connecting with churches. I am the garden steward for a couple of local churches here that have some community gardens. And so connection. At the farmer's market, I don't go to sell produce, but I do go to educate and demonstrate. So that's when I do put my chef hat on. And that's when I go around to all the growers or farmers and get their products, whether it's fresh produce or their value-added products. I get whatever they have. I do a cooking demo so I can show people not only a healthy way of cooking, but different styles. So I may use a hot plate or an air fryer. We'll either do a juicing demo or a smoothie demo. We don't use any sugars. It's mostly honey that's used from our local farmers because of the benefits of local honey when it comes to sinuses and allergies. We may use some agave so that we can teach people just things can still be tasty, eating it in a healthy way. If I bring seasonings, it's pure seasoning, so you can read it's salt-free seasonings, because I do like to teach people use salt alone so that you can measure yourself the amount of salt you are adding to your food, so you can decrease that blood pressure retention that you may be dealing with. And the importance of reading labels. So we teach reading labels, nutrition, and just a full demonstration so they can also see the quality and the taste of the farmer's products that's out there. And it's just some pictures of different markets that we've attended. So, and another thing we do with our juicing and juicing products, that pulp that comes out at the other end when you do juice, I bring a little dehydrator, dehydrate that, blend that, so I can show people that that powder can be put into the smoothie that we'll be making at the next cooking demo. Culinary greatness. This is just a few dishes that we've made from just produce that was grown, just so we can show people eat with their eyes. I went to a science and engineering event in Athens last weekend, and one of the projects that the students did was, do we really eat with our eyes? And the conclusion was yes, we do eat with our eyes. So I was happy to see those results, and that's why I try to be as colorful as possible, because I know we eat with our eyes. Love is always a secret ingredient, not just in food, but in our relationships as well. Harvest, which is the evidence, from planting the seed, from cultivating to planting the seed to watering and nurturing that, we finally get to see the harvest. And this is just some pictures of our harvest, delivering food boxes, which is a part of our CSA program that we'll introduce this summer. CSA community, what is it? It's community, CSA, I'm sorry, where it's like a monthly subscription. You pay a monthly amount, and then whenever we harvest within the co-op of farmers, you'll get whatever the farmers have grown. You can't specifically pick what you want in your box, but whatever we all have to harvest will be inside that box, and you can either pick up or it'll be delivered. This picture right here is a vertical grow area from at our urban farm in Augusta. Some people was wondering, like, if we don't have land or if we don't want to build raised beds, what are some alternatives? And so it came to container growing. But instead of container growing, I ended up doing some grow bags, and I used some plastic bags just so I can show people you could be cost effective when you want to grow your own food. These plastic bags come prefabricated with holes all the way through them for aeration so that water can still drain. And so we use those bags. It came like 500 bags, was probably $20. They're very strong. You can still pick them up, moving around as you need to. And then we grew tomatoes vertically. So as your plants grow, you just clip them up to a trellis and they just keep growing up. So you can walk through a forest of your produce. And we just happen to do tomatoes so that the urban community can see that you can grow anything you want to with the right, method. And this is just a video of me mowing, bush hogging the land before cultivation. Another thing, just representation matter, especially for women veterans. So you can also see that it's possible. Women are out here actually farming, doing the work, learning, teaching, so that they can see they too can do it as well. And so anything I have, I do love to give it back. And then before we get into anything else, do anybody have any questions? Okay.
I have a question.
Oh.
Hi, this is Benita. The
Yes.
plastic bag. Can you talk a little bit more about that? I've not heard of those. The plastic grow bags. I've heard of grow bags, but you said plastic.
Yes. So the plastic bags, they have cloth. They have even cloth with handles. You want them to be with handles. Those plastic bags were the cheapest of, I guess, container growing or container bags you can get. So those bags, they came from Berry Hills Irrigation. Berry Hills Irrigation is a good resource for us as growers. They have a multitude of things that we may need, whether it's for irrigation, planting, and you just go to their website, put in grow bags, and a multitude of things will come up. But those bags, I want to say maybe about a 2 centimeter hole is all through the bags, from the sides and the bottom as well. And you just fill the bags up with your soil, connect your irrigation to it, and plant in those bags. If that answered your question.
What's the name of the company again?
Berry Hills Irrigation. And let me type that in there in the chat. Did I answer your question?
Thank you. Yes, you sure did. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about urban and rural farming, just some of the differences. One of the main things is water. In rural farming, mostly of us have wells, which is a good source of water, versus urbanly, we have to use city water. Unless we pay to get a well put in, which can be very costly. And so the thing about urban with the city water, it has a lot of minerals in there. It can cause mineralization in your water lines. It can cancel out your minerals and cause your plants to not absorb whatever you're feeding them. Oh, thank you, Jude. Thank you. And so you have to be careful with making sure you're keeping an eye on that. So sometimes we can look at a plant and see that it's turning yellow, and that can mean many things. It can be disease, it can be too much water, it can be a lack of nutrients. But when you're dealing with urban growing, it can really just simply be that the minerals inside the city water is not interacting well with the minerals or nutrients you're feeding your plants. And so when we get down to the foundation of farming, it's about your soil. And so with soil, when we do start as farmers, we always want to make sure we get a soil sample of the area, whether you're purchasing land. Before you purchase your land, it's important that you go out there and look at that soil, get a soil sample so you can know what kind of soil you are dealing with, to make sure that if it's lacking too many nutrients, if the pH is too high, you want to see where that acidity is coming from. If there's lead, if there's anything in that soil that can cause you not to be successful, you want to make sure you start at that foundational point of getting your soil samples. Not just to begin, but every growth season, I think it's important or recommend that you get a soil sample. And I always start with three things: organic soil, just soil from the land, but then we also add compost. And compost is just a mixture of natural organic matters that's broken down over time, sometimes up to 18 months or more before you add that and it decompose and add that to your natural soil. And then also fertilizer. So I say compost act as your slow release and your fertilizer is your quick release. So if you fertilize, it's going to feed your plants good, it's going to be going, but your compost, it acts later on and it gives you that slow release fertilization that your plants can use. And organic is always good to add in anyway. But foundation is your soil. So you always want to make sure you get that done. There's sites, there's other places you can get your soil samples done, but what we use here is our local extension office. I'm in Richmond County, and so it's the Richmond County Extension Office. Columbia County has their own extension office, and I'm sure Aiken has theirs as well. But your local extension office should be able to process your soil sample. It's about $7 or $8. You just take, you can just get a bag, go in your yard space where you're planning to grow some things at. Don't just go right there where you're going to grow at, but go into different areas of your soil, of your land. So if it's in your backyard, go throughout your backyard and go about 3 to 6 inches deep. And so you don't want to get that top layer, which is like topsoil, which is rich, but you want to see what's underneath that topsoil. So go under there, get you a scoop from about 3 places in that yard, put it in your bag, take it to your extension office. They'll transfer that into their bag and they'll send it out to the lab to be tested, and you'll get your results back via email. I think that's very important. Get your soil samples done. Sustainability. Before we get into sustainability, anybody had any questions about soil? Okay. So sustainability, to be successful, you got to create these channels of sustainability. And so when we talk about value-added product, that can be having your raw tomatoes transferred into salsa or tomato sauce that then becomes a value-added product. And so that's a good way to try to create some sustainability within your operation, whether you're canning your vegetables, freezing your vegetables. You want to try to create a product that can be sold not just in that raw perishable state, but you may want to create some non-perishable items because it's longer shelf life. And that income can help provide a line of income so you can try to sustain your farm. Another thing, connecting with other farmers, creating a co-op is important so that we all can feed off one another, help one another, grow something together for the better good. Another thing, community support, sponsorship, buy-in. I think community is very important. We have to connect with others for that longevity. Without connecting to others, you know, it's just like doing life alone. You'll find yourself at a place where you realize, I just might need somebody. So why not start off as such? Creating those community relationships, getting your sweat equity in, going out, meeting people, getting out of our comfort zones, seeing who you can connect with and collab with, who share the same, you know, goals and missions as you do for your company or organization for the better good. Grants is another thing for sustainability. Although we should not rely on grants for sustainability, it is a resource that that does benefit you. And so apply for grants, making sure you have yourself in a position or connect with grant writers that, you know, understand your mission, understand what you do as far as your company or organization. And when those grants come in, as long as you fulfill them, you have that opportunity to reapply and still get more of them. So although it is a good resource, I don't think it's something you should really depend on as far as your sustainability, because it's not something that's always guaranteed, but it is a great resource. Crop rotation. So in farming, you always want to rotate your crops. If you plant tomatoes if I plant tomatoes in my vertical grow area, I don't need to plant anything in that family, not just tomatoes, but anything within the tomato family, like vining plants. So I don't want to do any of that. So you want to make sure you rotate. So if I planted tomatoes last year, maybe this year I do collard greens. And that's important because you want to think about pest management. You want to think about disease, and making sure you're not breaking down your soil so much and it's always pulling that main nutrient that plant may need. So like, for instance, legumes, they need nitrogen. So if you continuously is planting legumes, any type of beans or peas in that same area, you'll soon be depleted of your nitrogen and always have to add that nitrogen back into your soil. So crop rotation is very important. Rest. So we plant spring and summer, but then we allow the land to rest in the around the winter time. So you either put in a cover crop or put in a crop that doesn't require too much disturbance of the soil and from the land. So that brings me back to, as much as we take from the land, we have to make sure we give back to the land. Everything in life is about balance. So making sure that you really give your land time to rest and not just always taking from it. When planting, I think it's important to know your zones, because we can buy a seed packet and it'll say June, plant in June, but based off of your zone, like us here in Augusta, we're zone A, 8B. And so you want to look at that zone to see if that seed or that plant is really the success rate that it can survive in our area. And so what may be good for Georgia may not be good for North Carolina. So you want to make sure you look at those zones to see where we fall at on a there. And that can also be found out by a simple Google or on your extension office website, UGA website. They do have that. I'm not sure of what's the South Carolina one, but your agriculture schools, Clemson, their website, you can see what's your zone for your area. Pest management. Pest management is important. I always say if you keep your landscape clean, that can really help, you know, with pest management. So if you're organic, making sure you're going out there manually getting those weeds up, getting that grass up, putting down vinegar. Vinegar is the alternative to, you know, like a Roundup when you're a conventional farmer, but making sure your landscape is clean to try to help with that pest management. Understanding that pesticides, which includes insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, all of that is under pesticides. But just because one is labeled organic does not mean that they are not using pesticides. The difference is that USDA do have approved pesticides for organic growers, but it still is pesticide, just less harsh, not as chemicalized as the regular pesticides that conventional farmers use. But there's a lot of many organic ways to try to treat pests, but you will have pests, so don't be alarmed. Just making sure that you walking your land or walking your area daily, if possible, to see if you have any cabbage worms or squash or any type of pests that may blend in with your produce. So you want to make sure you're looking and observing. And I say that's when you come to start talking to your plants, because you got to be with them so much. But the more you talk to them, I feel like the more they grow. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's all I have. Do anybody have any questions? All right. Well, Janelle, I think that's the end of my spiel.
Hi, this is Judy. I got a question.
Okay.
You had stated that you are going to have a community-supported agriculture program, the CSA. When
Yes.
do you expect to start it, and what type of products will you be growing?
Right now, so we expect to start it August of this year. It'll have a variety. As of right now, we have broccoli, squash, zucchini, peppers. I'm just gonna let me slow down. Broccoli, squash, zucchini, peppers. So that's hot peppers and bell peppers. Cantaloupe and watermelon. That's what we'll have for August. And tomatoes.
Do you have an idea of what the cost will be to participate?
I don't have the cost of what that monthly subscription would be as of right now. In some organizations a few churches that we're working with, they want to just buy just a week versus doing a monthly, because they're buying it for their church members. And so that'll be a different price. And so I guess based off the customer, it will determine on, which package may be good for you.
Okay. Will it be on your website or?
Yes, it will be on the website. And if you subscribe, that newsletter will be coming out in May as well.
So, I'm sorry. Thank you. I think this was great information, and I really appreciate your sharing tonight, LaShawndra.
Thank you.
I want to echo that. This is Benita. The only reason I have my camera off, because I like when people have their cameras on, is because I'm eating and I don't want to be rude. But thank you. Thank you for the information. And I just love seeing sisters in agriculture. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone have any other questions for LaShawndra?
I have another one. This is Benita. I heard you mention Richland County. You're in Richland County?
Yes, I am.
Georgia.
Georgia, okay. Because
I
there's
think
one in Columbia also.
Richmond. Did you say Richmond, LaShawndra?
Correct.
Oh,
Mund.
Rich.
I thought you said Richland. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Richland.
Richland. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, awesome. Well, gratitude again for coming to speak with us. Hopefully we can have you back again to come and speak. Definitely there's a lot of other things you experience and you got your hands in, so we'd love to get more information from you and maybe even come out to a site visit, and help any way we can as well. So gratitude for everyone coming, taking time out tonight. LaShawndra is a very important person in our community here in Augusta, and she also has her hands in a lot of projects. So any volunteers, anyone willing to help out, please visit Black Farm Street. Find LaShawndra on social media. And Sean, can you please let everybody know how they can find you?
So we are on social media on the Black Farm Street Incorporated, and I'll add this stuff into the chat as well so people can have that. And our website is blackfarmstreet.org. If you subscribe, you will get the newsletters, whether it's announcement, whether it's time for harvest, whether it's time to sign up for this CSA food box program. And we also have a summer camp that's coming up, and that'll be very good. We'll do some big representation on our Black and Brown youth. And so we'll have the Black and Brown homeschoolers of the CSRA will be a part of that. Black moms who homeschool. John Deere will be coming out so they can introduce the youth into engineering. They have software where they're autopiloting their tractors. So the youth that may be interested in things as such, just engineering whole, because engineering in the agriculture realm is big and diverse. And so their STEM department will be coming out to show the youth and talk to them about different things that they have there. Our beehive farmers, for those who want to learn about bees. And so this summer camp this year, which is June 10th through the 15th, I think it'll be very informative and give some good representation on what the agriculture forum really has to offer our youth outside of just being out in the fields. So yeah, just sign up with our newsletter and all that stuff will be coming out.
Quick question about the John Deere. Is there age range?
The camp is for 3rd grade through 10th grade.
Is the camp in Augusta or Aiken?
It's going to be in Augusta at 1650 Olive Road.
Okay.
At the Urban Farm.
What's the time for the camp, LaShawndra?
The camp is 9 to 2 o'clock every day.
And is there a fee associated?
There is a fee. There will be a fee, and that'll come out in the newsletter and that announcement as well.
Okay, any more questions?
Can you share the recording? I got in a little late, but I'd like to get the information. Miss Carolyn.
Yes, Cynthia, will the recording be on the website?
Probably later tonight. I'll put the thumbnail to it and it will be linked on the website, www.growwellaikencounty.net. And if you registered, I'll look for your email and I'll send you the direct link if your email is in the registration.
All right. Gratitude, and also sign up to get updates on the Grow Well Aiken County events and the other Zooms we're going to be doing. Well, we do monthly meetings every third Thursday, 7 p.m. So if we have no more questions, I want to say gratitude for everybody for joining us. LaShawndra, you are absolutely amazing. gratitude. Appreciate your help and appreciate you taking time out to speak to everyone. And good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.